took the advice of my wife and I took her to the hospital. I left two of my sons in the hotel room and they were sleeping. And unfortunately, within about an hour and 30 minutes of me getting back after checking in my wife and everything, security had them down in the security hall with Metro and a CPS person there.
Let's take another call right now. We're going to speak to Brandon. Brandon in Nevada. Brandon, do you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
Actually, a little bit of both. First of all, I'm a huge fan. I follow your YouTube channel, and it's been amazing.
Well, thank you very much. We try to publish a new video every day for that channel.
Yes. Well, basically, Vince, what's going on is my kid's been going on for almost over a year. And this happened during COVID, and we were all living under my father's house, me, my 4 children, and my wife. And basically what happened was my brother came home, felt sick, and my father said, hey, why don't you guys do a staycation at a hotel until we know what this is? Could be COVID. So basically, long story to fast forward, it turned out to be COVID. And my father ended up passing away, unfortunately, during this time.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes. About 3 days later, I felt warm. My wife felt warm. And we were kind of in a sticky situation. We have, again, 4 children in a hotel. And we were having car issues, but we had a Nissan Altima. Obviously, I couldn't pack all the kids, in the van and in the Altima and take them to the hospital. But my wife needed to go to the hospital. She couldn't keep her head up. We have a son that, has asthma, so we were thinking the worst. So I took the advice of my wife and I took her to the hospital. I left two of my sons in the hotel room and they were sleeping. And unfortunately, within about an hour and 30 minutes of me getting back after checking in my wife and everything, security had them down in the security hall with Metro and a CPS person there. So that's basically, this has been going on now for over a year. No drug use and no other signs of neglect or anything like that. But unfortunately, we have a really bad caseworker, and we have tried to get the caseworker removed just to get a new caseworker. Somebody that kind of see it from fresh eyes, the whole situation. And they're not really cooperating really well. They keep on saying, well, try your best with this caseworker. And I was just asking, obviously I've been going everywhere for resources on how to fight CPS. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of David Straight with constitutional rights. But I think with your earlier caller, with Dakota, she kind of said that, she had a constitutional advocate, but obviously wasn't an attorney who knows this, child, family court system. Now, my question is to you, Vince, is that I went on a website called GetMyChildrenBack.com, and basically it just gives a 39-page affidavit to serve the CPS to demand your children back in 72 hours. I was going to ask you, have you heard of this, and would you think it would work?
Okay, so I have heard of it. I'd say maybe 6 months ago, one of my my clients found this website and insisted that I take on the strategy from that website, which I didn't do. He fired me, and afterwards, I'd say maybe about 3 or 4 weeks, he called me back and wanted me to take over his case again. Because he realized that he had been perhaps given some wrong information according to his case. Now, You mentioned that website. I don't know the people in the website. I don't know if they're lawyers. I don't know if they know what they're doing.
Through a man named David Straight.
Okay.
Is his name.
Right. So I just don't know anything about that gentleman.
Sure.
Okay. I don't know anything about his website. I've never looked at it. All I can tell you is what happened with one of my clients. So, you know, there's a lot of information out there. There are a lot of people in your position, right? I don't know if that website charges or not, but you know, you have to be kind of careful. I mean, I get calls from people all the time that have hired lawyers, like real lawyers, and are very unhappy with what the real lawyer is doing. So, I mean, you know, it's people. It's not necessarily, you know, the system. But, you know, I have an attorney that works with my office occasionally, and she happens to be in your city in Nevada. And,
that's great.
And her name is Attorney Denise Gallagher. And I was just trying to look. Yeah, I was just trying to look on my phone, and I only have her personal mobile phone, which I can't give out. But you should go on Google and try to find her, and tell her, hey, you know, Vince Davis referred me to you. Okay, she's an expert in CPS cases in your city. Okay.
Perfect.
And in your state, and I would highly recommend her. Did you have any other questions for me? Because, you know, first of all, I want to tell you this: if that is all that has happened in your case, and you don't have your children back, okay, and that's a big if, because a lot of stuff might have happened that you haven't told me about. But if that is truly everything that has happened in your case, something's wrong with the system because you don't have your children back.
Yes, they were.
I could see you, if your case was in California, I could see them taking your kids away because what you did, although there might be a good excuse, could put the kids at risk. But, you know, if I'm the judge or the prosecutor, I, you know, basically tell you to go take some parenting classes, and once you finish that, we're going to give you your kids back. Because, you know, as I think Brian would agree, when you remove kids from their parents, it is damaging to the child, emotionally, psychologically, you know, physically. And in order to keep the kids away from you, you have to be a really bad dude. You know, like, you know, physical abuse, sexual abuse, drug habit, you know, something. You know.
Yeah. Exactly, Vince, and that's the thing. You know, they tried to turn this into a drug case. Even these 6 different tests, and I passed them all flying colors, including my wife. But the last question, I'm sorry, Vince, before I get cut off. Basically, what happened was they were placed with my mother-in-law during this time. Now, last Friday, they were removed. I
2 minutes.
Went to Child Haven. The other 2 immediately, within 12 hours of being in Child Haven, they went to foster families, the 2 older ones, who are 7 and 8, and the other ones are 6 and 2. And then today I was informed that Child Haven is having a scare because there's a COVID outbreak. So I'm kind of a little worried, and I just want to know what parental rights I kind of have at this point.
Well, you still have your rights. You still have your rights, and you need to talk to an attorney. Now, if you don't want to call Denise, or, you know, you find another attorney that's good in your state, by all means, go consult with them at least. I'm not telling you to hire them, but go consult with them, because you have one of those cases that I scratch my head about. You know, nothing really happened. You got educated. You did your parenting. You know, give your kids back, because moving them around and from taking them from the grandmother, that's another detriment that the kids are suffering. A second traumatic event.
1 minute.
So go ahead and please, you know, consult with some attorneys in your area. Hey, Brandon, we got to take a break for messages. I want to thank you for calling, and thank you for listening, and thank you for sharing with us your story. Call us back in 3 or 4 weeks and give us an update. And hopefully, you know, maybe I'll even text Denise tonight that someone named Brandon may be calling you. So try to help him out. Okay, Brandon? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vince. I appreciate it.
All righty. This is The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win. We're going to take a break for some messages, but we'll be back with more calls and more questions.